What's the word, OG gang? It's your boy, your Wavy 6 with another episode. Listen, this video is specific for my beginners, my day one subscriber, my beginners. It's not a big deal in this video, but at least it's some information that you probably got not using it. Maybe it's the information probably is gonna help you in the process, and probably you're not thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? It's about I'm gonna give you a few tips. You know, I always give you a few tips while I give it a video and what I'm brushing. This video is to avoid having a lot of forks and to avoid getting forks. So I'm gonna give you a few tips and tricks how to avoid getting forks and to avoid getting a lot of forks. Okay, you could get one fork, but some of us we get 5 and 6 and 8 forks. So I could tell you a few things how to avoid that. I'm gonna use myself as an example, because me personally, I got a fork, and I'm gonna tell you the story why. I'm gonna cut it short. I was a 360 with a hybrid. You know what I'm saying? I had a fork in my crown. I was pushing it down, and by the time I got here, I wanted to shift my pattern, something that you're not supposed to do when you're having a fork. You're supposed to get rid of the fork and then, you know what I'm saying, start a new pattern. Me, I did the opposite. You know what I'm saying? When I was pushing my fork out, I decided to slant my top, slanted it, and I crashed my waves because it was two pattern at the same time. And I overlapped my angle, and that's when I created the big forks. As you can see, it's right here. I did a cone section earlier. My fork is right here. The reason why you don't see it that much is right here, because I'm already brushing the opposite. So since I got a 540 slanted, what I'm doing, I created a fork like this, right? So what I'm doing right now, I'm brushing forward, so 360, so I could be able to confuse the fork and break it and push it out. It's gonna take a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna have to do washing style like twice a week, so I could be able to break the fork. Because when your hair is wet, it's easy to move the fork out. Or I could cut it with a 1.5, which is something that I don't really want to do. You know what I'm saying? I like to keep my hair thick because I like my definition. I don't like to see my scalp. So another tip is, please, this is for my beginners, okay? I'm trying to help you guys so you guys could be elite before time, even before me. You know what I'm saying? Avoid blind brushing, avoid blind brushing. You need this bad boy. You need this, okay? Without this, it's no this. Without this, it's no this. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of waivers. You know what I'm saying? Beginners, they crashing everything, and the reason why they brushing their hair like this. They not using a mirror. I understand if you got your angles and your angles is perfect, I'll let you rock like that. But if your angles ain't perfect, you got scrambled eggs in your head, you're not doing it right, my man. You slacking. And this is for my females waivers and for my gentlemen out there. You know what I'm saying? For my youngsters and my grannies. If you going like this and everything is scratchy on top, it's cool. You're not doing it right. If you don't want definitions, connections, you just want to have waves in your hair or crashing and everything, that's understandable. Go ahead, do your thing. But if you want to go to the next level, like I want to do and I want to be, you know what I'm saying, pay attention to the details and put it to practice. Because it doesn't make sense just listening to me and not doing anything. Practice what I preach. So one another thing is, when you brushing, depending on the pattern that you have, you see I got 540 with a slant, which means right now I'm gonna get you could say 540 360, because I'm trying to break the fork. Before I was brushing like this. You see, that's a 540 slant. You know what I'm saying? From the crown all the way to the front of your ear. That's a 540 slant. I had to stop that because I want to break the fork. And how you break the fork, you got to brush the fork the opposite side. But you got to make sure when you do it the opposite side, you got to make sure it blends in with the other one, because you want your fork to go out, and you want the waves that scratch to connect with the other one. So I want my waves, you see where I got the fork? I got the fork right here. I want this wave, you know what I'm saying, to connect with this one. And this one eventually is gonna come out. So what I have to do, I gotta continue to brush. But you just don't focus here. Brush everything. Brush this angle in the middle, and then the angle that I got the pattern, the fork. Why? Because you don't want to focus just in one detail. You remember, waves, they move. So you want your pattern to flow together. Remember the 8 angles. You're connecting 8 angles. So it's like a puzzle. You got to connect on all of them. So for you to have a flawless pattern, you want to connect them. You see how I'm brushing? And take your time brushing too. You see? Pay attention to what you're doing. That's it. It's easy to get waves, easy to connect, and you just gotta pay attention. That's all. It's nothing. It's no science behind. It's no science behind waves. You know what I'm saying? It's curves laying down. But if you don't know how to connect them, especially blind brushing, you're never gonna connect them. So you gotta pay attention to that. Another thing is brush. You gotta brush more. Okay? I see a lot of beginners, they just wanna have a 10, 15, 20 minutes at least every day, half an hour that you do, and you divide a half an hour in the 8 angles. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna help you get rid of the fork faster and get it a better connections. Another thing that you could avoid to get fork is by you brushing. You know what I'm saying? You see how I'm brushing? The way that I'm brushing what I'm looking at what I'm doing, and you see the brush, it doesn't change. What I'm trying to say is, the people, remember, your hair get used to it. Your hair get used to it, so you gotta make sure. You gotta make sure when you brush, you stay the same. Unless you want to change your pattern and you cut it to 1.5 or you cut it to 0, you want to start a new journey. What I mean is, that if you brushing, sample me, I'm brushing here like this because I got a 540, right? And then I want to go like this, vertical. If you don't use the brush the way you're supposed to, you're going to create forks. What I'm trying to say is this. When you brush vertical, you're supposed to use half of the brush. Why? Because all the bristles, vertical, has more pull than horizontal. When you brush horizontal, you're only brushing like in the center, okay? Unless you push the brush down, which is you're not gonna do it. But if you look the way I'm brushing, only thing I'm brushing is the bottom piece. I'm using this for the bottom piece, unless I push the brush down like this, you see? But it's not gonna be as much. I go like this. The reason why, if I go like this, the bristle has more power. So if you got a wave here, this is a softy, by the way. If you use a hard brush and you use it vertical, you're gonna push this way on top of this one. So that's why you go crashing your waves. So when you're doing vertical with a medium, with a hard, pay attention, just use half of the brush. Half of the brush equals a horizontal brush, okay? Vertical, half of the brush equals a horizontal brush. So pay attention to that. And remember, when you're doing it don't matter the pattern you have. If you got a 540, 720, 180, it's simple. 180 just the top, 3 angles on top. But if you got 360, 720, and 540s, And you brushing here, right? Don't grab the brush, right? And just drag. Don't drag this angle with this one. That's what it's gonna call fork. That's overlapping. You don't wanna overlap. You don't wanna overlap. You wanna connect. So how you connect? Brush this one, right? Pick it up. Go to the next one. I'm just using the top of the brush. I'm not using the bottom. Okay, you see? I'm not overlapping. Look, I'm gonna pick my brush. I'm gonna go to the bottom again. You don't wanna overlap your waves, because if you overlap your waves, you're gonna crash them and they're gonna look ugly because all your waves is gonna crash. So you wanna do it by sections. You see how I'm doing it by sections? I do it fast. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm used to already. I'm used to my angles. And I never blind brush. If I don't got a mirror, I don't brush. So you see, I'm brushing my first angle. I'm gonna go to the second angle. Fast. You see I'm brushing normally, regular speed. Look, I went to the second. You see? I'm gonna go to the third. You see I'm not overlapping. Wherever my brush finish, you see my brush finish right there? That's where I'm gonna continue. Look, boom. You see? I'm not using back of the brush. I don't need to. That's overlapping. You see where my brush ends? You see it ends here? That's where you gotta continue. Look, boom. You want connections. You don't want forks. You don't want to overlap your angles. You want to connect. So wherever your brush finish, that's where you continue. That way your whole your pattern is going to connect with each other. That's the reason why, you see, they call it 8 angles. That's the main reason why they call it 8 angles. Because you're connecting the 8 angles that you got in your pattern. And I'm talking about 540, 720, 360. So pay attention to that. Another tip is, please, take your time while you're brushing. Take your time while you're brushing. By the way, that's the cops. Take your time while you're brushing, because rushing it is going to cause forks. Why? Because you're in a hurry. You're trying to finish. You're not focusing. Your mind is not on forks or anything. Your mind is on, I got to do what I got to do. You understand me? So pay attention. Pay attention what you're doing. Take your time with it. If you're gonna be rushing, just don't brush your hair. Just go do what you gotta do. When you get the time, you come and you brush. Because brushing fast is not gonna get you nowhere. The only thing that's gonna get you mad, because you're gonna see all them forks. You know what I'm saying? I'll be watching the game, man. I'll be on YouTube. I'll be on TikTok, and I'll be watching the waivers. And a lot of waivers, they brushing too fast. They doing blind brushing, and I don't see connections. I'm not gonna say all of them, but most of them, they don't got connections. They got the pattern, you know what I'm saying? They got the 360 and 540, all that, but when you look at the pattern closely, I don't see connections. All I see is a bunch of forks, and especially the crown. I don't see no crown. I see hair, but I don't see no crown, which means I don't see no waves. A lot of us, because I gotta include myself as a waver, most of us, we don't like to having crowns. I don't understand why, because without crown, you don't got no waves. Why? Because that's where your hair grows from. That's the king. That's why they call it the crown. That's where your hair grows from. So without the crown, you won't have no way to go. Because you gotta go around your crown to create the 8 angles. You know what I'm saying? So without the crown, you don't got no pattern. I know you guys get the picture. So show love to your crown. And before I didn't like to brush my crown. You know what I'm saying? And I started seeing my waves looking mess. Everywhere was wavy. And then when I see my crown, it looked ugly, all poofed up. The hair just looking like having a ponytail. I'm like, nah, this is not right. That's when I became a waver. I'm like, okay, let me keep watching. Let me see these guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I realized, I'm like, yo, it's true. The waves without the crown look sloppy. You got flow disconnection everywhere, right? But when you look at your crown, it look like somebody just put their Timbs on top of your crown and just rub their Timbs in your crown. Then you smush your crown up. That doesn't make sense, right? But it is what it is, right? Like Killer Can say, it is what it is. So pay attention to your crown. You know what I'm saying? Don't blind brush. Stop overlapping your angles. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a rush and you gotta go somewhere, don't brush. Go handle your business, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? And do it whenever you can, but don't do that, cause you're just gonna get mad and you don't want that. Look at me personally, I got a fork. Why I got a fork? I was being desperate. I should have waited longer, you know what I'm saying? I was switching from 360 hybrid to 540 slanted, but I had to fork in my crown right here. And I pushed it all the way here, where it's at now. Instead of me wait a little bit more to come out and then change my pattern, I decided to shift while I was taking the fork out. And what happened? It forked my waves up. Feel me? So take that as an example. Look at me. I'm trying to get this fork out because I was being desperate. So pay attention. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Stop blind brushing. You know what I mean? If you can't brush, just go. Do your thing. Handle your business. But when you brushing, you got to take your time. So at the end, the only one that's going to get mad is you. You're going to be mad at yourself. Oh man, I got this fork, because you was rushing. So when it's time to brushing your hair, me personally, I take my time with it. Because at the end, the benefits for you, nobody else. And another thing for my beginners, when you're doing a brush section, and you start here, finish the whole 360. Don't come here and then go here and then come here. No, don't do that. Why? Because you want your pattern to flow. You want to train your hair to go clockwise. Feel me? How you do it? Brushing in circle. Go with your pattern. Every time you do a section, go in a pattern. If you miss a shot in the back, finish. Why? Because your hair is going to get trained going in that pattern. The more you train it, it's better. So when your hair is trained, you don't have to brush a lot, because all you got to do is just maintain your waves. So you see that I start here? It's all about training your hair. Feel me? It's all about training your hair. You see that I start here? Boom. Go to the second. That's my second angle right here. That's my third. You see? That's my fourth. So my fork is. Eventually it's gonna come out because I'm shifting my angles here. 6. You see, I'm going with the pattern. 7 and 8. You see? You do it this way. Always finish with the crown. You know what I'm saying? So always finish like that. Because the point is to train your hair. You know what I'm saying? You train your hair, and your hair, by the time you do regular washing styles, you could scramble it. You know what I'm saying? After you in ripper stage, don't scramble, because you're in ripper stage. You're training your hair to lay down and to go back to their regular place. You know what I'm saying? They're not trained, they're not developed yet. So after your hair is already developed, then you could see like this definitions, you could scramble. Because as soon as you brush down, they're gonna go back to that position that you trained it to go. So this is the best way so for you to have a better waves. You know what I'm saying? You start here, take your time with the brush until you know what I'm saying, until you learn your pattern. After you learn your pattern, you can pick up the speed. And look, I've been brushing for a year, and I still, you see how I'm brushing? I'm not even brushing it. You know what I'm saying? But I know where I'm putting the brush at. So that's how you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Just straighten your hair the way you want it. Feel me? You'll be alright. You won't have a lot of forks. Why? Because you're training the right way. You're not blind brushing. You're not overlapping your angles. You see? Wherever you finish with the brush, that's where you go. You'll be alright. Alright, I just wanted to make this video for my day one subscribers. Feel me? That's it. It's not that hard. Alright, so everything is good. Just follow the process. Be patient, stay consistent, don't blind brush, don't overlap your angles. I already gave you all the trainings that you need for my beginners. Don't wash your hair on ripple stage. Train your hair first, and then you can scramble. And that's the best I can say. Alright, so I'm gonna continue brushing because I don't want to make this video long. So you guys already know, man. So you wavy, stay brushing, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. I'm gonna continue brushing though.